Chapter 1. God alone is sufficient. A message from Archangel Raphael in unison with the choir of angels in the presence of Archangel Gabriel. 1. Love is everything. Beloved of God, we are burning with the desire for a time of grace and blessings with you. You cannot even imagine how much we love you. If you knew the love of the Father, your hearts would sing with joy and dance to the rhythm of the melody of creation, whose harmony is beauty beyond words but not beyond feeling. Abandon yourself to love and you will find everything for which your heart longs. Truly, truly, we say to you, your heart does not long for anything other than being loved with perfect love. Remember, Holy One, that in the longing for love, love lies already. In the longing for love is a yearning to be. You have been told repeatedly that there is only love. Or rather that only love is real. We have come today to speak to you of this. We do this by sharing the wisdom of the heart through this helping hand who, out of love, shares the whole world, what heaven gives to all souls. To you who receive these messages, we say once again, thank you for answering our call. Thank you for welcoming love. Only love is real. This cannot be explained, for love is not describable, nor can it be grasped by reason, because love is eternal and therefore infinite. It never changes. Nothing contains it. It contains everything within itself. Love is everything because nothing can be out of its reach. Everything, absolutely everything, is a matter of love or lack of love. Love penetrates everything. It knows everything. It sees everything. Love is the foundation of everything that exists. Love is the source of creation and of every truly creative act. Love is not only the foundation of life, it is life itself. To speak of love and of life is to speak of the same thing, just as speaking of truth and speaking of love is the same. To say, I am love, truth, and life, is but to say, I am. Isn't this the same as saying that love is God? Nothing can contain God. Nothing can contain you, because you are love and nothing but love. That is the reason that every time you seek to possess, you lose sight of your being, because love cannot be contained. Because love is life in all its abundance, then we can easily understand that behind the desire to possess objects is the desire to possess love. To possess love To possess love is what you have been trying to do since you began to harbor the insane idea of separation. In effect, this desire was the basis of the rebellion against the eternal impossibility of possessing God. The idea of separation, the attempt to create a world where you could hide from love. If you could create a world where you could separate yourself from love, then you could, in your way of thinking, create a substitute for love with the condition that it could be yours, possessed, not shared. That is fear. That is lack of love. That is sin. That is hatred. If you open your soul and immerse yourself in the sincerity of your heart, you will recognize that every time you want to possess something or someone, you feel a pang of fear. Likewise, it happens every time you feel that someone or something is possessing you or trying to possess you. This is because the desire to own begets fear in two different ways. The desire to possess material things comes from the desire to possess a beloved object. And when one seeks to possess something beloved, we must conclude that one seeks to retain love. Two, only love will set you free. What you hold on to, you lose. What you give, you earn. That is the dynamic of the kingdom. The kingdom of love is a realm of eternal gain, precisely because it is a kingdom in which there is no desire to retain anything. The desire to possess is non-existent. There is only love eternally extending without limit according to its nature. Truth cannot be withheld. Love cannot be withheld. The thought of God cannot be withheld. You cannot even retain the experience of God. You cannot even attempt to manage time. That causes anxiety. Identical to the desire to possess is the desire to control, an exhausting task, akin to trying to catch the wind with your hands. A task that cannot but engender fear because it is to seek and never find. Similarly, the desire to possess evokes fear in two different ways. On the one hand, you experience the impossibility of true possession, and on the other, the purpose behind the desire to possess cannot be satisfied by the object of possession. We have previously spoken of abandoning the desire to possess, and here we return to the topic from a slightly different perspective. The desire to possess love. Every time you tried to harbor love, you got angry with God and with life because you could not. Spirit, and love is spirit, is like the wind, unknown from whence it comes and where it goes. It cannot be held. You have experienced it again and again. Being cannot be caught. It does not let itself be possessed. Therefore, everything susceptible to being possessed cannot come from love. In other words, everything you desire to possess enslaves you in some way. It holds you back. You become tied to the possession. Possessor and possessed are chained. Jailer and prisoner are both imprisoned. Beloved soul, abandon all such things in your heart and see how you rise up. See how you breathe free again, no longer a slave to anything or anyone. Above all, not a slave to yourself. To do so, remember once again that everything is thought. The true path of detachment is not a matter of ridding yourself of material things, people or ideas. Although you give all your goods to the poor, or live alone on a mountain top, that will not free you from the desire to possess. Three, detachment and freedom. The desire to possess is of the realm of the egoic mind alone. All desire arises within. Envy, greed, and lust arise within the desire to possess, a dynamic that always grows. All murder, all pettiness, all war, all lack of love arises from the desire to possess. The desire to possess motivates the desire to exercise power and dominion, since to possess presupposes that you exercise sovereignty over those possessions. To pretend to possess love and to align yourself against love for your lack of success is the basis of separation. Thus it is critical to abandon the desire to possess. Begin with material, mental, and human issues. The first step toward abandoning the compulsion to possess is to become aware of your desire to possess mundane goods, both material and immaterial. When you stop clinging to things, whatever they are, you can say, I am free. I can embrace this or that when it comes within the framework of my consciousness and let it go when it leaves. I do not try to prevent it from coming, nor do I try to hold on to it. I allow everything to come and to go whenever and however it does. I live immersed in the flow of life, for I have recognized that I am life. I am the sky in which the clouds appear and disappear. I am the clouds that appear. I am everything. I do not want to own anything, and therefore do not plan anything, because I do not wish to control anything. I need not control anything because I no longer live in fear, but in love. There is no need for control when there is no fear. The path of detachment may seem difficult, but only at the beginning. Sooner or later you will realize it is not necessary to own anything, because nothing is really external to you. Why seek to own that which is already yours? That which is a part of you? To believe in something external to yourself is what leads you to think that you can and must possess it. Having does not mean anything in the realm of love. In love, there is only being. Being and having are identical in love. Those who know themselves as love have everything, because love is everything. What is not love cannot possess anything, and never could possess anything, for what is not love is nothing. Remember, there is only all or nothing, truth or illusion, love or fear. In one consciousness you are full, in the other you are incomplete. From incompletion arises the desire to possess, which contains the seed of the desire to be. For everything is yours. Soul in love. Fill your soul with love, and you will discover that you have everything. Fill your soul with being, and you will discover that you are everything. Fill your soul with Christ, and you will not need anything else, because Christ is the love you seek. Christ is the love you are. Christ is the abundance of your heart, in which you were created and live eternally, whether or not you are conscious of it. Your soul is sovereign and always has been. You have been given a kingdom. That kingdom is your being. Go in union with the living Christ within, with the only one who knows how to be in union with love. Give Christ control. Give Christ your life, to whom it belongs. Remember, life is not of your own creation, but has been freely given to you, along with all that God is, which is everything. Now that you have opened your mind and heart to receive this truth, and we assured you that this is true, you can forever say to yourself, in joy and truth, everything is mine. Mine is heaven. Mine is the earth. Mine is the night. Mine is the day. Mine are the crystal clear waters of the rivers and seas. Mine is the rain. Mine is the drought. Mine is the silence. Mine the melodies. Everything is mine. Mine is the song of the birds. Mine is the lilies of the field. Mine is the wind. Mine is the stillness. Mine is the wisdom. Mine is ignorance. Mine is strength. Mine is weakness. Mine are the saints. Mine are the sinners. Mine is beauty. Mine is harmony. Everything is mine. Mine are the angels of God. Mine is the Mother of God. God is mine and is everything to me, because Christ is mine and is everything to me. Beloved of light, those who live consciously in love have the power to tell the wind to cease and to fall silent, and of this we assure you. At their disposal is all the power of heaven and earth, for love is sovereign of creation, its foundation. But only in union with love can you exercise the sovereignty that is yours. The sovereignty that is shared with the totality. The sovereignty of love is freedom. It is perfect harmony. It is perfect fulfillment, and happiness. Remember then, each time you remain in the presence of love, that you are united to the totality, and with it to your sovereign power. Being and having are one and the same, but you cannot have anything except in union with love, because only love is. When you are love, and we assure you that this is what you truly are, then you are everything and have everything. When you remain in love, you are the master of everything, because you are the master of your being. Not to possess, but as the perfect extension of God's love. Never forget, every wisp of wind, every petal on every flower, every child born, is not other than the love of God extending to you. And what is extending and what is extended is nothing other than your very being. Say, Section 5. Possessiveness and generosity. Your love, and with it your being, is present in each melody of creation, in each breath of wind, in each rose, in each ray of light. Your love and your being is in all that is, because what makes everything is what makes you. We have said repeatedly that this work is aimed at the healing of memory, the divine memory that lives in you, remembering the truth. We have come for love, as is embodied in the words, the abode of light. We share the truth with you as we hold it in our minds and hearts. Sharing is how we never forget its beauty, magnificence, and radiance. Thus we will always be grateful to you for allowing us to share the wisdom of God, in whose eternal truth all that is wholly radiates, more resplendently than the sun. Beloved of the heights, together we remember that you need not own anything, because everything that is true belongs to you already, as you are the whole. Plainly speaking, creation is but a mirror, wherein is reflected your beauty, your vastness, and holiness, because that is what exists. As you look at creation, remember, you are seeing God and yourself, because only in God can you see your true self, as God and you are one and the same. The compulsion to possess is the opposite of generosity. The compulsion to possess arose in response to the nothingness that you perceived. By denying being, you denied love. By denying being, you denied love, and thus considered yourself to be little, almost nothing. Somehow using the celestial memory, which allowed you to know that being and having are the same, you try to become more by possessing more. Ownership is the basis of the egoic mental mechanism, and like everything of ego, it did not work. Ego can never achieve its purpose. The ego promises but cannot fulfill, not because it is sinful, but because it is impossible. The ego's compulsion to possess was a failed experiment. Is not life as you know it to some extent inefficient and disordered? Why would you not think that God's creative processes would always be effective? You no longer reside in the era of the ego. The ego is gone forever. You have abandoned it. What we are about now is the dismantling of customary past mental patterns. We are now ready to release the chains, the fundamental patterns of ego that clung to us from the compulsion to possess. Now we can move freely. Only the remembrance of their weight and discomfort could impede us. Serenely, we release the pattern of those chains. The energy of the compulsion to possess. We simply leave it aside. Section 6. Love yourself. The ego's compulsion to possess arises from the desire to be more than what you are, a belief that you can attach something to being. It also arises from an ancestral memory, from your innate wisdom, that your being must be attached or united to something to be able to be. Being is a clean slate and must be given an identity, an individuation. You know this because your desire, even the unbridled desire to possess, attests to it. The genesis of this desire to possess is in perfect harmony with divine truth. Ultimately, it comes from the desire for union. You always join in some way with what you have, at least at some level. Although the idea in its origin is correct, you have been trying to join what cannot be joined. Only Christ is He with whom you can join to have a real identity. That is to attribute of being that you are in truth. You cannot truly join with what is not of your nature. You can only truly join with what is holy, beautiful, and perfect, which is love. You are a being of pure love. You can but identify with what is love. Christ is the identity of love. He who is possessed by love. Possessing Christ, merging in Christ, is the only way in which possession makes sense. Can you see the difference between letting yourself be possessed by love and seeking to possess for yourself what is not? To be more and more is the madness of the world, the deafening cry of greed. If you want to be more than you are, you will want to be different from what you are now. And if you want to be different from what you are now, You must not love what you are. The compulsion to possess must arise from the feeling of lack, which is always a lack of love. This is a great revelation, that every perceived lack comes from the perception of a lack of love. It's not things, nor people, nor ideas, nor capabilities that you want, nor are they what you need. What you are trying to do each time you are compelled to possess is to fill a void in your heart left by the perceived absence of love. When you recognize this, not with the mind alone, but with the heart united in fullness with the mind, you truly know the truth. Now you can smile affably as you walk the streets of a city crammed with things, or in the midst of a place where people work busily, observing without judgment how people from time immemorial have been trying to find the love they think they have lost, looking for it in all sorts of things that can neither fulfill nor be retained. We appeal now for compassion. See how humanity desperately seeks to grasp the wind in its hand. Think how love would respond to that unfortunate situation. Remember that love sympathizes with everything and everyone. In that perfect compassion, we know that the mechanism of possession is but fear. The fear that love lost will never be found. The fear of not finding true being. The fear of not being or not continuing to be. Section 7. Let yourself be loved. Beloved humanity, the time has come to stop living as beggars, picking up bits of being that have been scattered about. The being that you are in truth has not been broken. Your being is not a smashed vessel of fine crystal whose splinters are scattered and must be gathered and reconstructed. Your being rather has been eternally preserved. Nothing and nobody can touch it except the love of God. You are inviolate and inviolable of God. The sanctity of your soul has never been profaned. You have never ceased to be the love that God is. Love is not lost. Love cannot be lost. Every experience in the world is neutral. It has not, cannot do anything to your being. You have never ceased to be, could not cease to be, the perfect, holy creation that God created eternally. Because you have never ceased to be the God in you, you need not possess. You need not search. There is no need. Sisters and brothers in Christ, love what you are in every moment and in every place. Love everything that arises in you, and you will no longer feel deprivation of any kind. As a being without lack, you need not dedicate yourself to the exhausting activity of survival, from which comes the compulsion to accumulate. You need not desire anything. Those living in love need nothing. Perhaps you wonder how to release fear forever, and with it the desire to possess, so that now and forever you can live in the state of giving, that is, a life completely devoid of need. The answer is now obvious. When every lack is but an echo of a perceived lack of love, then the way to freedom from lack is but to let yourself be loved. Pure soul, let the love of God and creation fill the covers of your being. Let yourself be overwhelmed by love. Let yourself be enthralled by the tenderness of God. Allow the universe to show you, along with your sisters and brothers, its benevolence, and you will return to the truth of who you really are. You will return to your home in God. Let yourself be loved. In other words, join the living Christ who lives in you, to live as who you really are. Thus will you find your being. Thus will you find the love that lives within. And when you find it, or rather, when you are willing to recognize it, your heart will dance with joy and sing a perfect eternal song. They who have Christ in their hearts have everything. And in the fullness of truth, your mind will join that song and jubilantly proclaim, God alone is sufficient.